There will be time at the end for lots of questions if anybody has anything to ask. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself. Also, Judy, you're ready to go?
We are ready. It's Monica
ready here,
going first, okay?
Yeah. Okay, hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you for inviting us to speak with you today about Focus Ireland, the work we do, and especially the Camino, which hopefully you're going to take part in. Now, Julia, how are we going here? Okay, hi, just a brief background about Focus Ireland. Our founder is Sister Stan, and she set up Focus Ireland in 1985 after doing a project working with all the homeless ladies in Dublin, and she realised that by interacting with the homeless people, you could actually help them. So in 1985, she founded Focus Ireland. But I won't dwell on that. I'm going to pass you over to Julia now, who will tell you a little bit about the work we do. Okay?
Okay, hi guys, sorry, we're just sharing one computer here, some technical issues. So my name is Julia and I work here since 2019 in Sligo town. We are covering the northwest of Ireland. So the Focus Ireland, it's basically a charity, which is, you know, one of the leaders in Ireland, really helping people who are struggling with risk of homelessness or homeless parents and families and individuals. So basically our aim as a company and organization is to prevent people to get into homeless, because we believe there is a way to avoid that. So there are many different types of homelessness, which I'm going to talk about later. I'm just going to read you the vision from the Focus Island. So Focus Island is driven by the belief that homelessness is wrong because it's preventable. It derails people's life potential and deeply damages our society. So Focus Island, as I said, is work with individuals, young people, families, and we offer support like advice, information, and education and housing for people who can keep their home safe. So maybe, is there anybody who could tell me what means prevention in their own words? Is there anybody, Patrick, you could think would like to say something?
No, I'd say they'd be happy to listen for now and maybe questions at the end.
Okay, that's okay.
Very sure.
So we, as I said, we're covering the northwest region, and it's not only County Sligo, it's County Mayo, County Leitrim, and County Donegal as well. We're the only Focus Island around. So I have some statistics here which could clarify how many homeless people we have. It's not only adults and families, they're also children. There are small children, they are younger children, or they're youth. So around the Christmas time and after, we had 2,600 children who were homeless. And in County Mayo and Roscommon, we had average of 320 people. And this is a statistic from present. So you could just see how many homeless people is around, and it's not necessarily we see them. So just for the types of homelessness, as I said now, the homelessness could be visible, but it's also a hidden homeless, or it could be, as I said, the people who are at risk of homelessness. It's not only the people, it's a typical view. If we go to Dublin and we see rough sleepers in sleeping bags, so that's a visible homelessness as well. The hidden homelessness would be a time where the person, for some reasons, lost their accommodation, or they're couch surfing, or they have to stay in the B&B or homeless shelter, or they might not have a choice and they just have to stay in some family relatives, but this is not their choice, they're staying out there. The risk of homelessness, it's mainly linked to people who were excluded from accommodation, there are different reasons as well, because maybe the landlord gave them notice of eviction. You know, the rent is very expensive. So, for example, the landlord could be selling the house as well. So, Patrick, you're saying the questions we can leave for later, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the causes of homelessness? So we have few of them. I might ask you later on and we go back to it. So structural causes are the poverty, a lack of affordable housing, lack of jobs, and the family become homeless because they lose in the house, or it could be as well lack of mental health support, because people who suffering from mental health issues, they more likely might be losing their accommodation. We have also a personal causes. It could be marriage breakdown, family breakdown, or a drug and alcohol use. Poor physical health, loss of a family member, so someone could pass away and that person was looking after everything in the house. As well, unemployment, and as I said, it could also be linked to losing accommodation because of what's happening on our market, and there are no houses, or the rent is very expensive. As I mentioned earlier about the rough sleepers, that's the visible homelessness. So in Dublin, it's particularly, we could see those people all around the city centre. So they don't have a roof around their head and they just sleep they have a sleeping bag. You could see a lot of people there walking around and given free meals or the sleeping bags. So that's where our charity had started, and we have a coffee shop which is open for people like that, and they can come and get the meal, or they can come for advice, information. And if there are spaces in homeless shelters, they might be put it there for a night or so, but that's not always the case. So we have families which are homeless as well. So as I mentioned, at the moment in County Mayo and Roscommon, there is around 320 homeless people. And that we say as well, their children and their parents, not only individuals. In your region, we are just after getting approved the aftercare service, which will be open in Ballina. And the aftercare service mainly will be looking after children who are coming from care, and there will be between 18 and 25 years old, and they still need a little bit of a prompting, and they need someone on side to keep their accommodation safe. That's our Northwest region. As you can see on the picture, it's pretty much straightforward. It's a family in a one room playing with the kids. Sometimes if there is no spaces in emergency accommodation, families have to stay in B&Bs or hotels, and we don't know for how long that could be. The youth homelessness, it's, I suppose, the age we are, what class, what averages now? We talking to participants are 16, 17, is it?
Yeah, 16, 17.
So as you see, like, it also happens that people in the same age, like yourselves and your school colleague, could experience a homelessness. So mainly as well, the 1 in 3 young people leaving the care, they turn up homeless people. That's why we need this aftercare service to be running, because it's very important. We do have a support for them. We don't want them to end up homeless, and we try to provide them accommodation. And there are some particular reasons from being more vulnerable as a young person. it's mainly the system. They grow up and they may not have enough sufficient payment. So they just basically don't have money to cover their own accommodation. There could be discriminated because they might be seen differently. There could be marginalized because they, for example, could be from a different ethnic group, or they could be LGBT and they might have a different skin color. There are many, many different reasons. Also, the reason could be that their parents may had a pattern of being homeless before, and the young person is just leaded to that. Now, I will try to play this and you can tell me if it's working.
I just slightly play it from the area.
It's moving here today.
Can you hear that?
Funny thing,
Yeah, it's working.
there's so much we can't take from within these walls. And actually, we can't take much at all. Just the necessities. And a few favourite things. Dad says we can pick one toy to bring. No fridge for the magnets. No line for the pegs. How many months left now, Mum? It's just for a little while, you said. And when nights are long and the walls are thin, I can hear all the things you tried to do in. I know how hard you fought and how hard you tried. Mum, please don't cry.
Please donate to Focus Ireland's Shine a Light Sleep Out, proudly supported by Board Gosh Energy.
So that was just a short video from a sleep out we did around October. Usually Monica is looking after that since we have her, and we're very happy to have her because we need a fundraising to keep us going if we want to grow a small bit. Now, I just going to say that we have few different services. As I mentioned, we will have the aftercare service. We have advice information in here in Sligo town. I'm doing the resettlement, tenancy support and sustainment, so I wouldn't be only covering Sligo. I'm going to Curry, I go to Castlebar, I go to Inniscrone, I could be going to Donegal. It's different places, whatever there is a need. Also, we have some emergency accommodation in around Sligo town and outside in the whole county. So we do have a support worker, and our team is growing. So hopefully in the next couple of years we will be bigger, and there is a sufficient need for that. That's for sure. Is there any questions? Because I'm gonna give you to fundraising person, which is Monica, or would you be happy with that?
No, that's fine, Judy. If any of his questions, they can do it in the chat function either if they wish, or at the end of the presentation.
In the very end, there will be my email or Monica's email, so you can always email me and I can ask your question. Now, I'm just going to say my other role is basically a translator because I'm a Polish person. We have a lot of Polish people recently, or Eastern European people who live here, or some of them might experience homelessness. So a part of my role, I suppose, team is happy to have a Polish speaking person. So that's just a little, you know, a little add up to the group. And I gave it to Monica. She will just pop in and talk more about the Camino. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you all? I hope you found that informative now, what Julia told you about our services. You know, there's a much more in-depth presentation that we do have on that to inform you, but I know you don't have time this morning. So today we have our virtual Camino. This is a campaign that was meant to happen in a physical nature for us, and it's a thing a lot of TY schools or TY classes do in order for their TY year. But we've brought this onto a virtual platform, and we've aimed it at TY coordinators like yourselves there. And so what it is, it's It's a virtual walk, which you set up online. All you guys are so dab hand with technology, it will be no bother to you. And here you can see that your teacher, Mr. McGarry, has set up already for you guys the Ballyhonus TY 2021.
Great.
Now, what you can do if you're going to participate in this is you go into the link that Mr. McGarry has set up and you join his team. You put in your own details, your own email details, your own name, and then you can set your own page within the Ballyhonus TY class, which means that each one of you, that participant, your name will be in as a team member and you'll be able to compete with each other on your miles and on your fundraising. And it's a very interactive thing. It's very educational. And even though you won't be with each other, it'll be very educational. The next part of that is what it does when you're doing it. It's a 144-kilometre walk, which you can do over any length of time that you decide among yourselves. A lot of people are doing it in a month. And as you can see there, there's seven different stops along the route. Now, obviously you don't have to do your kilometres in the way that's broken down, but it's broken down like that to follow suit of the actual Camino route. And when you come to each of these places here, the Santiago de Compostela, the Rua, Arusa, each one of those, you get a virtual stamp on your virtual passport. I'll just show you here now, the next slide here. You get a, where's your passport gone? Oh, there, the stamps. Yeah, see the stamps there on the first one. So you get a virtual passport like that, which you get a stamp for every route you arrive at in your walking route. And that comes up on your virtual passport. Then as you're going along, when you're doing your route, it's very educational from this. There's podcasts you can download, which will give you information about where you are. There's lots of information about the local culture, the local history. It also gives you menus of the specific regions that you're passing through, and it gives you a list of recommended readings that will support you if you're doing any kind of a project through TY. The recommended reading and everything else will support you maybe in writing your essays and all of that. And also, to go back here, your walking notes here for each section of the run. Once you're registered, you can download walking notes, and the walking notes will be specific to the areas you're in. So with the 20 km between Santiago de Compostela and the Rua, you will have all the history, the culture, and everything that's happening in that part of the country. So, you know, it's geographical, it's educational, it's history, culture. As I said, it's all of that. And then once you're up and running, you see here, this is what a lot of the students like. We have leaderboard where the top 20 teams are showing up on it. And if you see here now, the Convent of Mercy Roscommon is up there, Sculwera, Strokestown, Ballinamore. These are all ones that would be local enough to yourselves. Ballygar is in Galway. And there's a few other ones that have started up. They're not up on the leaderboard yet because they're just like yourselves. They've just introduced it to their classes. But that's really what it is. It's very interactive. You know, the learning, like I know I'm a fundraiser and fundraising is my thing. And in order to provide the services which we do, and as Julia said, we're expanding to Mayo for the over 18s that are leaving care, which is a very necessary service, because those poor people, I don't mean poor, but those people, you know, they're walking out into life with no supports and no stilts. So we provide a wraparound service that, you know, it enables those to live a normal life. So that's why the fundraising is so important. But from what I'm just really saying is, like, from the aspect of all the students, all you lads and lassies, what you're going to learn from this experience, you know, it's your social conscience will develop, and you're going to be aware of those less fortunate than ourselves. You know, we all woke up this morning, we have internet, we have iPads, we have laptops, we have iPhones. You know, the people who have slept last night in a sleeping bag, they don't really have any of that. So kind of put that into your pipe and smoke it, as they say. And that's really it. This is what your donations can bring. You know, as simple as €25 can provide meals. You know, 55 can give them a safe place to stay for a night. If you go up to 250, you can help them find long-term accommodation. You know, so, you know, the more money that comes in, the more supports that can be given. And really, that's it. Other small events you can do in your class, your school, are the likes of what's here. But I know you were mostly involved today in the Camino, like in this section here. So really that's it. If you have any questions, and you might have more so have questions for Julia about the clients we deal with rather than me, but whichever, we're both here to answer any questions you might have now. So I'll hand it back to you, Patrick.
Yeah. So can I just ask Julia? So it's 114 kilometers, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 114 kilometers in total.
Okay. And there's no requirement of how quick or how slow they can do it or per day?
Absolutely none.
No. So I'm suggesting we do it for the month of March.
That would be excellent.
114 kilometers seems very doable for the month of March.
Absolutely. And if each student, when they do their own kilometers, once they've set up their own page within your page, they can upload their miles.
And how do they do that?
Technically, you go in the back end of the page where they set up their page.
Yep.
They will be able to, there'll be an option for them to upload their miles.
Okay.
And there'll be an option for them to upload photographs. Like if any of them are out walking through a lovely wooded area, they can take a picture of the beautiful woods they're in. If they see a bit of nature or flowers, plants, trees, anything they see that's on their route, they can upload it on their platform with their miles.
Within the page. And that's not public, that's private within the page.
That's within the group.
Yeah.
That's within the group here, within their own group. Now, the way they will be able to enhance their fundraising will be by when they set up their page.
Yeah.
They will be given a link to their GoFundMe page, or it's called Just Giving. Sorry, not GoFundMe. To their Just Giving page. Everyone will be given a link. Now, if they share that link on their social media platforms,
yes,
this is where they will be able to get the momentum for fundraising going. And then if they also share their photographs of their walk, wherever it may be, the woods, by the rivers, by the sea, wherever they are, if they share pictures of that, and if they become interactive with it, they get a bit of momentum going between the class. I see Aoife Gill there, which is the only name I can see. Aoife, you could set the ball rolling there and set up lovely pictures,
Well, we've 26 students here on board already, and I know a number of them had said they weren't available, but I'll send them a recording as well. So, I mean, the expectation isn't very high, small amounts. If they could raise like 20, 30 euro each, wouldn't be excellent.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I showed you there in that last slide, 25 euro would feed a family.
Yeah.
So if each student were able to raise something like that, a lot of students really get behind it and they get family support. And some people raise loads, but that doesn't matter. It's, the smallest increments of money coming in, it all matches up, it's great.
Yeah. And once they achieve the 114 kilometers, they get a certificate then, don't they?
They get a certificate, yeah. A certificate comes to them. So what happens then is when everybody has to log in, and when they do, their information will be sent to me from our central base.
Yeah.
So if Aoife Gill there and Amalia, how do I pronounce her name? AMYLH. If we just say, I'm using their names because I can see their names on the screen. If they sign up, their information will be sent on to me. I'll include them in, they'll already have opted to join your team. When they're setting up, it'll say join team. Now they have to ensure they join Ballyhaunis TY 2021.
Yep.
When they sign up. Then I'll be putting them in here as a team member. And every time one of them logged their activity on their own page, it will accumulate. So if 10 of them go and do 5K today, it will accumulate.
Yep.
That Ballyhaunis TY has done the 50 kilometers.
Oh, I see. So everyone in the team, all the kilometers are added together then?
They're all added together, yeah. So if 10 of you do 114 kilometers, that's 1,114 kilometers you'd have done between your class.
Yeah, perfect. So that could have it on Map My Walk or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean if they want to set up their own group, and do it. But I mean if anyone goes out and they know they've walked 5K and there's a bit of honesty to it, they can put it up. But if they set up their own little group where they're doing a little bit of competition with each other and try and be honest, try and be honest. If one of you logs 50K in one day, we know you're not honest. But that's really the basis of it. It's very interactive. It's very educational.
Yep. No, I think it sounds very good and very achievable, certainly within the month of March. Just wondering, Mr. Woolley wants to say anything if he's there. Mr. Woolley?
I just wanted to unmute my mic there, sorry. No, I Well, I think it's a very, very good cause. I've been watching a lot of the ad campaigns from Sister Stan on the television and some of the work they do. So I'm quite familiar with what they do, and I think it's a very good cause. So I personally would be encouraging everybody. Now, if we get weather like we did last March, it would be absolutely fabulous to maybe clock. If you only did 5K a day, you have it more than covered, and you can still take a rest day every week. So, it's very achievable, very manageable. And I think, as I say, with the numbers we have, if everybody was to complete it, we'd be up there near the leaderboard. If there was any sort of incentives in for that, it would be brilliant. So, no, I'm thinking it's a very good idea.
Well, thank you. And if you do happen to, achieve your target and go flying past it, you can always change your target. You can move your target up or down, or over or back, or whatever way you like, you can change it. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's just like 4K a day for the whole of March. So that's certainly well achievable. No, very good idea. And so I'll send out the link to all the students. They'll just sign into the page. The page is private. No one else will see it. Their individual progress.
Well, we see, but we see when they share their link, this is the fundamental part of it now, they have to share their link.
Yeah.
Right. So if anyone clicks into the link, like I showed you yesterday about how I donate, then it will show your page and how your class is doing.
Yeah.
Now, but I mean, it won't give any other private information about you or about any of the students or anything of that.
Yeah.
And also, just to let you know, for GDPR purposes, the only name I will be putting up on our system in reference to this will be yours, Mr. McGarry, because you're being the adult. The TY students, all under 18, I will be communicating with them to update them about their activity, but I won't be engaging with them to ask them, can we send them on anything in the future? There'll be nothing with GDPR. I will be only communicating with them for this one time for the Camino, for nothing else, just so you're aware of our GDPR. It's very strict.
Yep, that's perfect. No, sounds very good.
Yeah. And just that if the kids, when I do email them out, once I get their information and email them out, I will be sending them a welcome email and all of that. If they want to respond to me and give me their address, just in case we have to post certs. Now, what we're doing with the certs is we're personalizing them and emailing them to each individual, because it's just way easier with what's going on, because I'm working from home most of the time. But if they send me back their addresses, just in case we're posting.
Yep, no, sounds good.
Okay, all right.
Does anybody have a question? I'm sure they're all too shy to ask.
You might have a question maybe for Julia. Don't be shy.
Monica, just for clarity, the fundraising aspect of it, is that expected that we will post what we have raised after completing the walk, or as we raise it, or what is your expectation in relation to that?
Well, our expectation in relation to that is, if you share your link with all of your activity, like if you're out walking today and you get a picture or something and you share your link on your Facebook page and say, oh, here I am today, I've done another 5K for my Camino, my virtual Camino, share the link, and if anyone clicks on that link, it will bring them to your page. So it will give you updated, like once we'll say, if I was to click in now and put a $5 on your page today, you would see that automatically updating in front of your eyes. It's live. And
the donate function is very straightforward. It's just press the button and very friendly, definitely.
Yeah, but as Mr. Hooley or Mr. Woolley asked there, is about, making people aware. If they look at your link, it will show them exactly how you're progressing.
Yep.
Yeah, and and I go back to this leaderboard here one again. Where is it? This leaderboard. You see this one here now. You will automatically come up on it, and it's not coming up by money here. If you notice, it's coming up by miles.
Yes.
And like I said, the King's Hospital there, the King's Hospital School, they're up over 2,000 miles, but they must have a fair whack of students registered to be achieving that kind of mileage.
Yeah, and just to confirm, like whenever anybody looks, they're only seeing the whole school team, the whole year group. They're not seeing individual.
Well, yeah, they can see individual. Yeah, they can click on the individual link and it will show, well, Monica McElhenney raised €20 or Julia or Patrick raised 10. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think anyone is going to look at it in a judgmental way.
Yeah.
It's not going to give anybody's private information. It'll just show you that you're a participating member of the school.
Yeah.
And I do know that Just Giving, which is the fundraising platform, if there are pages that are inactive, that nothing is happening on them, they remove them after a certain length of time. Because I suppose they're taking up memory, as you would say, in the whole motherboard of the whole thing. If they're inactive, they take them off. So
just confirm there's no obligation on anybody, to post loads of pictures or anything like that.
No, absolutely not.
First and foremost, we'd like to complete the challenge, and then on the way raise as much as we can.
Absolutely, yeah. There is no obligation. It's just an ask, because we know from experience what makes these things, work.
Perfect. Okay, sounds very good. If nobody's a question, we can leave it at that.
Absolutely. And if you want us to come back in, Patrick, after you're finished, or when we come back to some kind of normality, the kids might love to actually hear the full story of the Focus Ireland work and stuff, because it is a great story.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Monica and Julia. That was very informative, definitely. And I'll send out the links and the recordings to the students who couldn't be here today.
That's fantastic. And I will, once the rest of the kids, as I say, register, I know that they're registered, and I kind of let you know. You'll know as well, Patrick, as they're registering. And if I email any specific participant, I will be CCing you in it also for GDPR.
That's
okay.
And
I expect to see Mr. Holy there logging in too.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Take care then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, thanks, Monica.
Okay, thanks a million.